Hey, what's going on, everybody? We've got JT here. We've got David over at Crypto for Change. We've got C. Will with the Passive Income Network. We've got Cooper Daniels from the Recoup.
Hey.
And we've got the real Monty Allen from
What's
Crypto
up?
Nerd. You know us all. Give us all a like. Give us all a subscribe. How's everyone
Let's
doing?
go.
What's up?
I'm so happy to be here, man. It's great to see everybody.
It is
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
great to
same.
see you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dope. First collab with Coop as well, so I'm excited.
I know I've never, I've
Yeah.
obviously met Monty, but we haven't actually been face to face. So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
happy to be here,
I've
guys.
only met Monty and JT was at Last Decipher, so I'm excited that one day maybe there'll be an event where we all get together.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
I think
that'd
that
be
would be a
dope.
good idea, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
What about
Hope-
Decipher?
I was about to say, maybe this Decipher.
Yeah.
You know where it's at? Like Coop, you kind
We
of
don't
dropping some
know.
alpha in Dubai. I don't really know if that's it. If it's Dubai, sadly, me and my wife having our first baby, we're not going to be able to make that.
You're not going to make it to Dubai. I don't know that it's Dubai, but I thought that. I think it's Dubai, but don't tell
I
me.
mean, I heard it's Dubai too.
Don't tell anybody.
Oh, so it's definitely Dubai, huh?
yeah,
Me and C Will are like, okay, let's just say it. Yeah.
it's
Stacey
Dubai.
Warden,
so-
I'm gonna need you to book my ticket for me. Then put it on the Algo Foundation.
Yeah. Put me on that list. Yeah.
Oh,
Put me
man.
on that.
You know, that'll be a
Congrats on
fun
growing
one.
the family, though. I remember seeing that you posted pictures. You're like, man, the Algo family is growing just a little bit every day.
Heck yeah.
I think
yeah.
that's one thing that makes us like this particular group special, not just us, but like the Algo fam in general. The fact that we use that terminology, and a lot of us are really close. You know, we get to know each other over thousands of text messages. It seems like, and, you know what I mean, like TV, YouTube stuff, and emails, and it just feels like we're really a connected group. I love it.
Me too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
The
Yeah.
community
Yeah.
it's really out of control. I haven't really experienced a crypto community like this since the early days, really. Early days. I got in like 2016, so that's early days for me. I know for some people that's like 2013, but
Yeah. I'm a 17er.
Not me. Yeah, I'm more of an 18, 19.
Yeah. Me too. I'm with you. That's me too.
Yeah, you know what's really cool about this too is that other communities, they seem to like take down each other. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, don't watch that guy or gal or whatever. But here we're like rooting for each other. I repost everybody's stuff here. Like the Passive Income Network. Coop's got a thing with Scaramucci. I'm like, hell yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
that was a
Right.
great interview, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. That's another thing. Like, I don't feel, look, I guess we're all, I guess, a little competitive if we're being honest, but like, I don't really feel that though. Like I want you guys to succeed. And I think that that's kind of bleeds over. Like I see that in the community too, except for, there's ASA wars and, people don't like that one or this one, but still it's all pretty supportive, I think.
Yeah,
I like
really, when it comes to content, like the abundance mindset is totally true. There's like competition is nice, but there's just so much going on, and everyone has a different perspective, and it's really not too difficult to watch everyone's channel. I mean, maybe not everyone's, but at least 5 of us here. So
Yeah, for
for
sure.
sure.
Well, we can see all of the comments in there. I don't know if anybody's got questions or anything, or if we got set topics. I think we want to throw around there and go round
It
table
said
style.
The Avengers.
The Avengers, I like it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Emo.
Stacey Warden interview with Mooch. Yep. She said FIFA found Algorand. That's right. She did say that, didn't she?
yep.
I have a feeling, by the way, I just want to say this since Stacey Warden is brought up over here. I get the sense that she's got a little crush on JT. Does anybody else get that sense?
Yes.
100%.
I'm just saying, I'm throwing that out there. I think that there's
Hey,
something
so
there.
you missed it. So we were at the New York City, shutdown event, and I kid you not, like JT's out in the street. We're like talking. We're about to get, we're shooting a couple of selfies or something. Stacey Warden, I kid you not, she runs up, gives him a big giant hug. She actually puts him in a little bit of a headlock, I want to say. She was like, JT, you are not getting away from me right now, buddy.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
are your thoughts on that, JT?
It was a little unexpected. I was definitely going for a picture, but wasn't expecting all the love. It was appreciative though.
You were like, I want a picture, but I got a cuddle. This is amazing.
It's
Yeah.
great. I got a little.
You know
bit
what
more.
I got? I got a, hey, come walk with me for a minute. And I thought, like, man, am I in trouble?
What
Hilarious.
what did she say when you
Oh,
want
she's like,
to?
she just she's like, hey, how do we support the community? And in
Oh,
fact,
good.
my exchange with her was fantastic. She was like, hey, I want to support the community. You know, everybody that's out there doing the groundwork, the boots on the ground, the kind of the guerrilla marketing. You know, what can we do for you? So we spitballed some ideas. It was really great. But I didn't get a headlock and a hug.
Yes, yeah.
Me neither.
Yeah,
JT's
I
got
like
it
Stacey,
immortalized
though.
on his Twitter banner right now. Everybody can go check it out if you want to see it.
Yeah, that is true. I threw the little cutout there. I mean, we got a
Nice.
pizza though, so you got something. It was fine. It was fine. No,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, hey,
Oh,
Stacey, I am married. Like, you gotta be chill when you see me.
Yeah,
I'm married.
That's great, man.
So
I
on
love
that note, let's transition into one of these topics that we had laid out before. I mean, we discussed this a little bit before on the next block, but the ongoing governance debate. There seems to be a little bit of a back and forth between some parts of the community on at least the first question. It does seem like people are kind of on board with the XGovs, but it seems like the DeFi structure, the doubling the votes for some of these DeFi protocols, it seems like, people are split on that one. What do you guys think?
I've seen some really strong pros and cons, right? And I've seen some people saying like, okay, this is gonna hurt or help a lot, and they both seem, honestly, both the arguments seem pretty well founded. So I'm interested to see what the takes are here, what everybody says as well, and then some other speculative stuff about I don't know, delegate votes and that kind of stuff that comes up from time to time. But I'm interested to hear what everybody thinks, especially about the DeFi stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the DeFi is a great idea to add that in. Because a lot of people, too, like, I'd rather put my algos mostly in the DeFi. I do like the AlgoFi's vault and all that, but more options, I think, is always a great idea. I'm more of a and type person than a or. So, yeah, I'm with it. Just riding this one out.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I'm just still interested to see. I know that Stacey's comments have been really geared towards increasing TVL and boosting TVL. And so I would be interested to see, if this does get passed through, how this affects, some of the whales, and if they would want to then participate in DeFi with locking their algos and smart contracts on these platforms rather than just doing governance the way they have been, just straight from their wallet. So it'll be interesting to see if there's an effect there, if the vote does go through for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking along the same lines as you. Like the idea, there's a lot of I think there's early investors that have big bags of algo and they just put it in governance and it just sits there, right? And I think the idea is to give a little more power to the people that are actually participating.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's definitely the part that I find compelling.
Yeah, and even the whole idea, I think even Scaramucci kind of talked about it with you, Coop, I feel a little bit, just with like how, obviously there's a lot of whales who are in Algorand from the beginning. And, most of these people may not be, the degen DeFi guys that we are and that we, that our communities are built around. A lot of the people that are following us, they love NFTs, they love AlgoFi, Yieldly, Folks Finance, whatever it is. And they're more willing to take that risk for the reward of those algos, where some of these whales, like, they already have their algo bags packed in a sense. So they're more or less looking to protect it, but also still grow that value. And so why take the extra risk? And so maybe enticing with more voting power is the route that they're trying to go with that double vote. But I've seen some pretty strong opposition to having, that double voting power, especially because each platform would have to come up with their own, way of doing it, right? They would have that ability. So it will be interesting, but I just really wonder how many of these whales are going to start participating in DeFi. I mean, we know Borderless, they've added liquidity, right, to, Folks and AlgoFi and some of the other ones. So, they're someone who I think will, but, as far as like the unknown whales, that's where it'll be interesting to see how we get those people involved in DeFi.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, I do like the idea of incentivizing more people to use DeFi and to get the TVL up. I do also hear the concerns of doubling the voting power. That being said, we do have to find some way to get the TVL up, even if people don't believe in the TVL metrics themselves. If you just consider the liquidity on some of these dexes, if you want big players to come in and make huge, trades and whatnot, make $500,000, $1 million trades, they're going to need dexes that have more than $10 to $30 million worth of liquidity on them, spread about between a bunch of different ASAs. Really, the trading pair they want is probably only has $1 million or $2 million of liquidity, so they can't really make those big trades yet. So we do need to find a way to incentivize more liquidity providing from these big players. Maybe this will work, maybe it won't. I'm hoping they're doing some sort of live stream in the next couple of days. I'm hoping some of the community questions are answered by then. But we should see.
Well, break it down for me a little bit. What are some of the main concerns? Are people concerned just because we're doubling the vote for certain DeFi projects, and then is there like attack concerns, or like what are the main concerns people are having?
It does seem like, at least from my perspective and what I've seen, it does seem like people are concerned that it could lead, especially with the way it could be structured with the doubling of votes and essentially giving those votes to the platforms themselves. It could lead to some sort of centralization of the process, which, that is already there. There's already probably 50 wallets that can kind of sway the entire thing one way or the other.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Algorand's pretty concentrated with some whales right now anyway, if I'm correct. So that's happening regardless. So, I see, like, one of my guys in my group is like, we could Wall Street bets this thing, control it. So I don't think that's a concern for people I've been talking to.
Well, yeah, and I think that, and look, I could be wrong. I haven't looked. I'm not super, but I'm still laughing about Monty's camera's not going to make it. In the end, like you guys said, that those whale wallets kind of dictate the vote anyways. So maybe giving the DeFi protocols, it actually decentralizes it more, takes some of that power away. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's where I was kind of saying, like, it could, if the DeFi protocols are getting that double vote, most of your degens and most of your smaller wallets are the ones I feel like participating in most DeFi protocols. So, and there's so many new DeFi protocols that are still to come out that we have no idea how they're going to leverage governance. You got Humble, and PactFi is still evolving, and all those things. So it'll be interesting to see the rest of the year and Algo Summer maybe, how the TVL responds with, certain things getting pushed through. I think some of the other questions on governance was just how vague and how long this process could take. Like, you got to think, if it is every quarter and we already had one vote last quarter on the XGov, this one we have another vote that's still a little vague and not really that, to the point. It's like, how many more quarters are we going to have to vote on XGov before we get it ironed out? And then how long is it going to take to actually implement? So I've heard some of those questions, as well as, how do we change it to make it to where we can get things done maybe at a quicker timeline and things like that. But it's also just, I think it's going to take time. It's, this is only the third governance period. So there's a lot that Algorand can still adjust and kind of evolve on the fly.
I think there is some question too, is every ASA going to be weighted in DeFi for governance, or is it just Algorand? And do you have to choose a specific governance, DeFi protocol to lock up for a smart contract for 3 months as well? Or can you kind of go in and out and use DeFi as you please for the 3 months, while the people that choose not to are stuck in it for 3 months? I think there are a lot of questions that have yet to be ironed out. So I do hope they answer some of these questions.
And I also get the point that, like, you're kind of just having to trust the protocol to distribute the rewards, like fairly and all of that. So, and the delegating of votes, that means that we're just kind of like letting them decide what the vote is going to be. There's no individual kind of say. So, yeah, no, I see that. For sure.
It's like our democracy, a representative democracy. So definitely. If you want to represent yourself, that means leave it in your wallet. Plenty of options. I do a little bit, a combination of little wallet, and I've been doing AlgoFi. What about y'all in terms of governance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so far same. Really, I've been using AlgoFi, and I actually really like Folks Finance. This round they set it up so they'll essentially be the primary voter, but they did say that the next time, or they're going to integrate sort of a similar model that AlgoFi does, so where they'll set it up where you can also vote on the algos. But I like their model because instead of locking up your algos and then borrowing against them, you're basically trading your algo for a G algo 1-to-1, and you're not taking on any leverage to go use that G algo elsewhere in the system. And I do like the way that works personally.
For sure, and then it's playing out in a way where that actually is really nice for a lot of people, because I'm hearing a lot of people getting liquidated on AlgoFi, and that's that's certainly a bummer, and that doesn't happen on Folks.
Yep, I mean it can't, because you can also of course borrow. You can use your G algo that you get as collateral and then start borrowing against it, but you don't have to borrow against your governance stash to access the liquidity in it, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
hopefully you guys can hear me, even if you can't see me really well. But what happened with Guard early on? They lost all of their liquidity like real fast overnight, and then they reposted some or something, right? Do you guys know what happened there?
Oh,
I do not.
I'm actually not aware. You want to fill us in a little bit more? Do you know?
So I don't know everything, but I know that Guard, right after they started going down significantly, we get the Algo Scout alerts, and it came out that like 97% of liquidity got pulled out of the Tiny Man pool, thing along those lines, and everybody started to freak out a little bit. And Guard put messages that because pricing was going down, there's some people getting liquidated. They need to reinvest or something to stop that from happening. So it pulled liquidity. I don't know anything more than that, but I remember seeing that message and thinking like, oh man, it starts.
Isn't Guard a stable coin?
Was that right around the Terra Luna thing, or?
I think it was just before the Terra Luna thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's definitely a lot of there was definitely a lot of fear. I mean, I feel like all stable coins kind of had a slight trip, or something happened to all of them when the Terra Luna depegged and whatnot and went through what it was going through. I don't really know too much about the Guard. I know they did have a Twitter space like that evening or something that I think to kind of dispel maybe some fears and whatnot. But yeah, I didn't follow it too much because I don't use Guard at the moment.
Yeah, there's one of the VCs, right?
Yeah, they're saying borderless pulled liquidity.
It says Guard main provider got liquidated. Next one says Borderless Capital pulled their liquidity. I wonder if they're the ones that got liquidated. Either way, that would be.
Wait. We're saying Borderless Capital leverage, and then they didn't do it right.
It's
Is that what we're saying?
I mean, even the big dogs can make mistakes when it comes to leverage.
Oh man, we're seeing that. Well, we're seeing maybe not leverage, but there's some big boys that got wrecked during Terra Luna, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know someone was saying that Scaramucci's the next Mike Novogratz. I'm like, well, let's hope that he doesn't go get a Algorand something crazy tattoo, and then we end up repeating the cycle there. We don't want that to happen.
No.
I see one of the comments. VCs are just rich dens.
It's absolutely true. It is absolutely true.
That's actually very true. And by the way, to the Scaramucci tattoo thing, if he's listening, I don't want to discourage him from getting an Algorand tattoo. I mean, I think that's a great idea. I think that'd be good.
Well, I'll say this, Coop, the Algorand Foundation just tweeted out about our live here, and they said, waiting to hear that at Coop Daniels gives us a good luck for the weekend. So I get they're expecting something.
Yeah, don't talk about the yacht anymore, okay, man?
Yeah, the holes in the boat, man. The holes in the boat. Yeah, that was funny.
That sounds like a rap.
The reaction. Yeah, the holes in the boat. That's for Seawill. What am I doing?
I know.
Hey, I got to step back.
You're funny.
Stay in your lane, Coop.
Yeah.
Stay in my lane, man. That's right.
So what's up with the boat? It was one of the boats crashed, or
no.
Oh man,
no, it won.
What's going on there? You hear the Algorand boat crash? It's all Cooper's fault.
No, what happened was I was just joking, because there was nothing good at that point when I made that episode. Everything was pretty bad, you know what I mean? So, and then I was like, I wonder if Gotham FC lost this week. It'd be pretty funny. And then it turned out they had gotten shut out. And then the night before, the Celtics kind of fell apart. And then I just made a joke about how the hole there might be a hole in that boat. Yeah,
it was a good joke, though, honestly.
Thank you.
And then he woke up the next morning and ate a whole potato.
And then I ate a whole potato.
Really?
That's bad.
Memes,
I love it. Yeah.
Oh man, that is too funny. So yeah, let's transition a little bit into Algorand stablecoins because we did discuss it a little bit. But are you guys holding any stablecoins, whether it be stable or guard or what have you, or are you just using USDC or USDT?
Yeah.
I definitely I'm bullish on USDC. I don't really touch anything else unless I'm like in and out. But my trust is behind USDC, and I'm definitely holding a little. I did do the JT and cash out and buy some more algos on this dip. So got to build those bags up. But
Yeah.
USDC for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I primarily
Yeah.
use USDC whenever I buy, either whether it's through Coinbase or even directly through the Paro algo. If I just buy it there, sometimes I look and see what fees are what are better. But normally I just buy algo and then only swap it to USDC. I do have some stable, especially on AlgoFi and the LP pools, like paired up with my zone, paired up with DeFi, earning some yield just because those yields are better than just staking on their own.
Yep.
I think PacFi also has some good yields over there, but unless I'm, farming it, or if it's just, waiting to buy on the dip, then, normally I hold USDC for that because it's been the most, stable and has a long track. And, I guess I feel most secure there. Do you guys have any fear of, now that we've seen something like Terra Luna falling, like, I know a lot of people think that, US, Tether could be something that, like, if it were to crash like that, I mean, heaven knows what the entire crypto market would look like.
No, that wouldn't be good. That would not be good.
So far they've done
Algorithmic
like
stablecoins are not 100% sure, right?
yeah, the algorithmic ones for sure, especially the ones designed like Terra Luna and their prior their predecessor Basis Cash. I will say I still, like I said before, I think stable is a little safer just because it's over collateralized. It doesn't have that it doesn't have the same death spiral built into it, and its liquidity is getting deeper and deeper the way AlgoFi's incentivizing liquidity and their partnerships outside of DeFi with partners like Lofty AI, creating a real world commerce use case for it. I think creates it, at least safeguards it a little bit. But yeah, I would say USDC if you're trying to go safety wise. And in reality, there's a lot of regulation that are coming up after this UST fiasco, and who knows if decentralized stablecoins will live the same way that they are right now.
That's true. Yeah, if I'm just going to be sitting in a stable coin as USDC, and I mess around with stable too, just because of the pools on AlgoFi. And I mean, I think it's reached peg, right? It's been sitting at $1 for a while, right? Even over $1 for a little bit.
It's actually trading better than USDC is right now. It's let's see, it's about a little over a penny over the value of USDC.
Nice. Yeah. And USDC's got things like BlackRock behind it, so it's got all the big boys behind it. Yeah. Tether, I brought that up with Scaramucci and he seemed convinced that Tether's fine. But we all know that the United States government has been investigating Tether for, I think, 2 years now. Mm-hmm. So you would think and I saw that they dropped their amount of commercial paper because I think that's the main thing everybody kind of looks at, being like, what kind of commercial paper is that? Like, what are we talking about? But hopefully it's fine because that wouldn't be good for crypto.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys that we can kind of transition onto another topic after. Scaramucci kind of said it with you, Cooper Daniels, that this is we're in the bear market. Maybe not the we may not be in the depths of crypto winter, but we're in a bear market and things could still get worse. And I even tweeted out today, Kevin O'Leary, he's kind of said that he thinks we're 2/3 of the way through this bear market, or to the bottom, I would say. Not to say we're going to be out of the bear market, but at least to the bottom. And he says he sees another big capitulation event or something that could cause a cascade effect. What do you guys think could be something else that could bring the entire crypto markets even further down? You guys, have any idea, any thoughts, any speculation as to what, could still be coming down the road? Or is it regulation, or is it just, another type of crash like we saw with Terra Luna where another big one falls? What are your all's thoughts?
Well, I'll say I did post something in the private chat about it was a CoinDesk article, and then basically the G7 is talking about crypto regulation right now. But all my research is leading that they're focused on stable coins, especially since the Terra Luna. So for me, I see as being, productive for the crypto industry. But overall, because of, again, wars, we talked about this before, all the things that are actually happening with supply chain and China, I feel like this is going to drive crypto down because all the market's capital is seem to be related now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. I do have a huge concern over the potential regulations that could come. I do hope that they aren't heavy-handed, but I think that regulators have an incentive now after the blow up of Terra Luna to be a little bit more heavy-handed and kind of have the excuse to do so. There's actually a guy from, what is it, the whatever YouTube channel he runs, he actually just did a great video. Oh, the Coin Bureau. He just did a great video on some regulation coming out of the EU called the MiCA bill, which honestly does not sound that great. And they kind of seem like they're going to be pretty heavy-handed over there. So I think at least the fear of heavy-handed regulation could be what causes the next drawdown. But we'll see. I mean, we could not even have a next drawdown. We could just go sideways until then, of course. It's all speculation.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it would be more heavy regulation towards DeFi protocols? Like, I mean, I know a lot of people think that. I feel like it was in the Steve Kokinos interview where he was going live with those other guys from the Fed and whatnot, and they were kind of talking about how all these DeFi platforms just need to go ahead as they're launching and do all the KYC and make sure they're already kind of fitting into the mold instead of just kind of doing the thing and hoping that regulation is favorable down the road. Do you think that could be something where a lot of these DeFi platforms start to get shut down? I don't know, in some way, and that causes panic and people starting to pull liquidity and we see a big drop?
I mean,
yeah, a possibility. There's some risk there, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's hopefully that's not what happens. I mean, it seems pretty clear, at least in the United States, that at least, Gary Gensler and that Bitcoin will be left alone. I think that feels like, that feels right. It's a commodity. And, I think it was somebody just recently, I forget the acronym, but anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah, and also Ethereum is, and if Ethereum is, then it starts to feel like Algorand should be too. But I think a lot of Bitcoiners would like to see, they'd like to call everything other than Bitcoin an unregulated security. And so if they start going security route, then there's going to be a lot of KYC, and that basically just kills DeFi, doesn't it?
Yep.
In a lot of ways, or at least hurts it. Yeah.
Yep. I mean,
AlgoFi was originally Algo Bank, and they changed their name for fear of being perceived as a bank and having like bank restrictions and compliance.
Right.
And changing the name though doesn't necessarily change the way that their activities are viewed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you still get to borrow, you still get to earn interest, you still get to do a lot of things that banks traditionally have done in the past. Source of value for people. So who knows how that will be seen in the future, right? But there is some risk. Hopefully, though, like you said earlier, it's not heavy-handed.
Absolutely. And, France right now is warning that the NFT issuers could, and creators could have to centralize and register under the EU's MiCA rules, which, I do encourage everyone to go look into that. I know a lot of us are here in the States, so we think this won't affect us. But when one big part of the world starts regulating a certain way, a lot of regulators tend to follow. So it is certainly something to keep our eyes peeled for.
JT, it looks like the Algorand Foundation heard your cry for more, explanation of the governance. They just posted again saying they're going to have an Algorand Foundation May Community All Hands event and going to talk community governance on May 24th, next Tuesday.
Okay.
So the Algorand tapping in right now.
Okay.
Look at that.
Yeah, they're watching us. They see
geez.
Hey.
Look at that.
Look at us.
So,
well, what's going on, people from the foundation? How you doing?
We are the OGs, huh?
Thanks for watching. I'll take it. I like being an OG.
Yeah.
Mr. Blue Sky is asking me how I got Mooch, and it was a really complicated process. I asked him.
Yep.
So I got lucky. I couldn't believe he responded. It was nice, and then I had to wait a couple of weeks, so I had to sit on that and then hope that nothing. And he just stuck to it. Real nice. He was a cool guy to talk to for sure.
Yeah, I'm not
Nice.
going to release too much alpha, but you'll want to make sure you're following on the socials because we'll be having a pretty cool guest come on an episode of the Next Blocks, who's I would say, a pretty popular Bitcoiner as far as the YouTube goes and whatnot. So, we're going to have him on hopefully here in the coming weeks. So you'll want to make sure you're following and staying tuned for that.
Sweet.
I like it.
Is that on the next block or what?
Yeah, it'll be on an episode of the Next Block. So we're hoping to
Sweet.
get it filmed here in the coming 2-3 weeks. We got to set up the schedule and whatnot. But yeah, super excited. And it is kind of like what you said. I saw you get the interview with the Mooch, and I was like, man, maybe I just maybe I need to be out here trying to
That's
put
all
my
it is.
feelers out more and get some of these people because it's something that Scaramucci even kind of said. The only thing really holding Algorand back, I feel, is the community is not there yet, right? It needs to grow more. We're not, we don't have that adoption as far as the community growing, but we're getting there. And when I reached out to this guy, I was kind of like, hey, I know you're into this. This is what I talk about on my channel. And I really want to, have you on to discuss, the differences and the benefits of both and whatnot. And he was actually pretty responsive and like, you know what? I've always wanted to learn about Algorand, so this will be a great excuse for me to do so. And so it starts to open up the doors where these people may be so busy studying about Bitcoin or studying about Ethereum or Cardano or whatever that they just don't know what's going on. And then when you open up that conversation, you never know how, where that could go down the road.
And when it comes specifically to Bitcoiners, I mean, to me, it seems like such a logical, if they're looking to reach out at past Bitcoin, that Algorand is the kind of this makes the most sense. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I think it makes a lot of sense for them. And, we all know that for sure.
Oh, I'm just saying, I agree. Like, Bitcoin to Algorand makes the most sense. Bitcoin has proven itself, and then Algorand is in that process right now.
Yeah, especially since, down there in Latin America, the banks are using Algorand to move the Bitcoin. I mean, I know that's a big thing that, I feel like it still gets kind of swept under the rug. And maybe there's, when more information and it comes more to light, I think that could be bullish, for Algorand to maybe start to, move opposite of some of the other, part of the markets when they're going down.
And we were supposed to get Algorand gain market share. Like with Luna. So the lunatics, some of them are coming over to Algorand. But I feel like when there's a bear market, not yet maybe winter, but like when things start to go down, Algorand can really position, we position it so we grow and gain market share and gain some of these other projects. And I'm interested if you guys have ideas like how do we attract people who are big maxis or want to, those folks. So when you go over there and you talk to them, they're like bought in. Even when you talk to the Luna folks, they're like, yeah, I was bought in. I was rebuying. I was buying the dip. And they just bought the dip all the way down. Right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, like, how do we combat that? I'm thinking, I've got Algo Fund, and I'm trying to take input to accept payments and other cryptocurrencies so we can bring from off-chain and they can invest in Algorand projects. But it's hard for me to get penetration to those other chains. I think Splinter's working on some stuff too, and the Algorand Foundation is working on some stuff to move over. I think that's all really cool, but is it enough? And are we seeing traction from that? Are you guys seeing more projects move over?
Well, I want to say real quick. There's in the comments they're saying they can't hear you. I can hear Monty, but
you guys can't hear me.
It's poppy. It's not perfect, but I can hear you.
They say you got auto-tune.
It's my internet connection. It's not my camera or my mic. Those things are good. It's my internet connection today. So I apologize.
Go get your kids off of Netflix. Be like, hey, sit in the bed. You sit in the bedroom and be quiet. Just stare at the wall for another 30 minutes.
I feel like to answer Monty's question, I feel like, you look at Cardano. A lot of people say Cardano's community is really big and is growing and has always been there, and it's very decentralized and whatnot. Charles has been, if anything, that leader has been, PR wise, he's been out there. He's, he does lives. He's very in with the community. He's, call it what you want, polarizing or whatever, on certain issues, but nonetheless, he's there. And I feel like you just got to look at, we just got Stacey Warden, right? And I feel like she can be that figurehead for Algorand and spearhead a lot of the, moving the community over. And we've already seen the Algorand Foundations, at least their Twitter, start to come alive and be more, out there with the community. I think that's a big thing is Stacy, as long as we give her, let's give her a year and let's see where we've come, from when she started. I think we're going to see a lot more, adoption and a lot more other networks start to see the, the good of using Algorand and moving over.
Yeah, I can add. I'll add to that too. What I've seen is that grants help a lot. So if we want to, it's kind of like you got to pay these projects to kind of leave where they're at. That's how I see it. And if you support them, integrate them into shows like this, and then they would automatically off the top be more, ready to work with Algorand because they're already going to be included initially. And I guess that's what they're doing with Poppins, I think, right? I don't know much about them, but it seems like they're a big terror project that Algorand has basically recruited to come over. So recruitment and grants, I think, will help out a lot.
I think
it
so
also
too.
Still seems like a lot of people from Terra Luna are still thinking it's going to resurrect. So maybe there's still a lot more projects that are going to move over when maybe they either finally realize it's done, or if it does do some Phoenix and Rise from the Ashes type thing. I mean, I think there's still a lot more shaking out there to do.
Yeah, there's like a Terra Classic, and they're trying to do whatever. Like let it go. But sort of to Monty's point, yeah, the Puffins do look great. I like them. They do seem friendly. Is that in the bear market and the crypto winter, things are going to die, and we all know. And I think anybody that actually Algorand's not going to die. It won't die. I mean, it can't die. We have FIFA. We have the World Cup coming up. You know what I mean? Like there's already so much going on. So Algorand's going to survive, and we just got to start getting that market share. Like I want to see us climb that list. It is a little bit like, what's going on, man? Like, why are we stuck at 29 or whatever?
Yeah, they put out a list of someone did. It was a big post about NFT volume, right? NFT volume. If we can get a successful Opolis, or into projects like that via NFTs, because some people don't use crypto, but they use NFTs. And
I feel like the partnership with UMG and FIFA. I mean, with the end of this year, how is Algorand's market share when it comes to those NFTs not going to be bigger? I mean, you have some of the biggest artists in music that will be able to leverage Algorand, hopefully, as long as LimeWire comes through this year with their marketplace. Obviously, I know it's still in the works, but I mean, FIFA will already be a thing. EA, they dissolved their partnership with EA creating the game. So that's a whole, market share. I mean, it's more or less, we're just, it's kind of stinks that we're in the bear market that we're in. We're looking forward. We just don't know the timeline of when these things are going to happen. But I feel like JT says it a lot. It's like, slowly and then all of a sudden, right? It's going to be, it's a slow build up. And then, the FOMO that will happen when, everyone starts to really realize Algorand's potential and sees the big players using it. It's going to be a unmovable force, just like we saw with Solana when it popped this last year. I mean, I literally looked at buying that at like 25. I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm just going to see. It's hot. Mm-hmm. And then it went to 50 and I was like, it's too hot now. And then it went to 100 and then 200. I mean, it's just like, I feel like Algorand will have one of those moments where people are just, it's going to keep running and people are going to think that it's going to go down. But I mean, ultimately, I think there's value there.
You might have your chance to get that Solana at 25 soon.
Right? Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to buy that dip yet. I'm going to see if they get out of beta first.
Okay, there we go.
Oh man, yeah. I think during the bear market, we might be able to absorb some market share, but I really don't think we're going to see the pop that we all want until the next bull market. But I do have a huge suspicion, based on all of the news that's coming out or that has come out and will continue to come out, that the next bull run will be Algorand's bull run. It just as this past one was sort of Solana's bull run, and a couple other L1's bull run. I think the next time the market is in a bullish phase, whether it's this year, next year, the year after, which it very well could be. Sometimes bear markets last a while. I do think Algorand is going to shine at that one.
For sure.
And I should take down my pinned tweet.
I got to check your pinned tweet.
Yeah, I'm like, what is it?
But there's also, there's just a dwindling, supply of algo where it's getting fully dispersed. So more and more, it's getting in people's hands.
Yeah, I think there's 68, 69% circulation at this point.
Yeah. So
what are your all's goals right now with your next buy areas? I still think Algorand sadly is going to dip below the 0.33, 0.34, 33, 34 cents that we saw. I know it's going to probably suck for a lot of people. That's why, be careful, mind your leverage, people. Don't, if you're on AlgoFi, don't go crazy there. What are your all's next big buy zones?
I mean, I want to see. I'm pretty convinced that Bitcoin's probably going to make its way down to the low 20s, and so
Yep.
I'm proceeding with caution here.
Yep.
But it's hard not. It's showing strength, but yeah, I just don't see especially with what we were talking about earlier with what's happening in Europe, and I just don't see what the I don't see why Bitcoin would run right now. It just feels very bearish. So
it's like a lot of people now don't have the extra capital to be investing. So like you said, everybody's tightening their pockets. We're all doing our own tightening, and we have to be more cautious to what we're investing in. And,
doesn't that just spell a boom's about to come then, right? Everyone starts to get overtly bearish, that's when you see a pop, even if it's a relief bounce. I'm not saying we're going to see algo or Bitcoin run back to 69K, but even Bitcoin running back to 38K, I mean that could be a decent pop, a relief bounce for most, where maybe people would start to turn bullish, like, oh, that was the bottom, and then all of a sudden we fall another 50%, 60%, and see more of this crypto winter.
Well, they say Bitcoin or MicroStrategy, and then we'll be in trouble if Bitcoin hit 21K. So I don't think
that's the big event. That's the big capitulation. Is Michael Saylor gets liquidated.
That would not be good for the market. He came out with a post saying that 21,000 level is far off, and he's well below that. I don't know how truthful that is or whatever, but
they said he definitely doesn't over leverage based on my research. He's like 2-3% in, so they could probably handle it.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with Cooper, though, that the price of Bitcoin, in my opinion, looks like it's going to be coming down to the 20s, low 20s. But that being said, I mean, to David's point, there are some indicators that haven't reached these levels since close to the bottom of the March 2020 pandemic level. So, there is some wisdom there in the sense that sometimes when things are overly fearful, it actually was the opportune time to be buying. And since that's the case, I have been packing my bags slowly but surely, but I'm saving some capital because I do have a suspicion we are going to have another cascade down to, 21K for Bitcoin, and wherever that brings algo, who really knows. So I'm still saving some capital. I think I always encourage having a good cash position anyway. So I think that's a wise choice to make.
Am I the only one whose next purchase is not Algorand? Like I'm waiting for Zest Capital. I'm bullish on Zest Capital and what they've got going on. They're releasing some DAOs coming up. So my next purchases are, participating in DAOs and some real world assets and I don't know. That's kind of like the cross pollination of traditional Fi with blockchain.
Yeah, for me personally, I have a lot that I'm looking at. I have a list of like 20 or 30 projects that I actually want to get into, but I'm kind of waiting for a bull market to spread my money around. I've really been in a consolidation phase, getting, primarily into Algo and USDC or Stable and some Bitcoin, and really just consolidating into what I would call blue chip cryptos that will weather the test of time in case the bear market is long and terrible. But that being said, I do have a lot that I want to buy once things are back to, semi-normal, and we can kind of see what made it out the other side. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in terms of buying, I'm only looking at like Lofty, Bitcoin, and Algorand right now. And then once the markets start to run, I'm most definitely going to be flipping some of these ASAs because you can make a nice flip on a good project. Like I said, I flipped Headline a few times. So if we can get that one running back up, I love it. That's where I'm at. But I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so awesome just what you can use in the DeFi system during the bear market, right? I've got, the money I make on AlgoFi and the money I make on Lofty ends up going to pay, whatever leverage I may use here and there just with the rewards that we're earning. So that's where it's like you can make a lot of money in a bear market, even if it's just, earning or, building your bag during that time and using whatever rewards to pay off, any borrowed money and things like that. So there's a lot of good opportunities out here. One of them that I'm still interested in, I know Monty, he mentioned that. Zest, I'm still interested to see what the Love Chain does. I know it's a long time coming. I still follow them. It's like a new social media thing with NFTs. So that'll be one that once they do launch, I'll be interested to see how it does. But they had a launch date of like last fall or last winter, and that didn't happen. They've kind of pushed it out. They've rebranded, and so I don't know. Maybe they met some hurdles that they haven't been able to does launch. I'll be interested to see.
The Love Chain. I don't even know what the Love Chain is.
Oh man, you got to go watch my iconic video. It was like one of my first ones. I come in to pumping the love train. I was like, I was jamming. Yeah,
that was like October or something like that. Yeah. I made one too. I was talking to them, but they kind of like disappeared for a while. And they're also the people behind, I think, AppPay too.
Yeah, so they got the AppPay, which is the buy now, pay later. But it's pretty much going to be a social media app for minting NFTs, your content, someone like us, if we were an influencer on the Love Chain, you would earn their lover token for your likes, your comments, your shares, which is an in-app token. And then that could be spent in their marketplace. And then they're going to have their own love token, which will be, I guess, what, pays for fees and things like that. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they actually get the product out.
So they got love token and they got lover token.
Yeah.
Lover. Yeah.
Lover and love, man. I mean,
it's got to be a winning combination. It was funny though, because they were hyping in every interview I heard them do. The guy who created it always talked about that place. I think in France, the bridge with all the locks on it or whatever. Like that was always his tag. And it's so funny because I'm pretty sure that bridge got taken down because it was like there was too many locks and it was like environmentally not safe because of the weight of all those locks on the bridge.
That's funny.
We've got a question here that I feel like we can transition to. We've got one from One NFT, and shout out to him for making our NFT profile pictures. But he's asking, what are our thoughts on the Y launch, and will it be possible for Yieldly to, change face? Anyone have thoughts on if Yieldly can successfully, build back what it once had?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I'm rooting for him, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, have they hired some devs and like they got this thing going again? Like, do we know what's going on there?
They've been announcing a lot of big things, with the WAGMI swap takeover. So they're going to going to have a DEX. They're going to have the Y launch. They have been announcing a lot of things. It does seem like they're putting in the effort to turn the ship around. So of course, like you said, certainly rooting for him, but I guess it's yet to be seen.
Yeah, it's hard to know. They've gone through a very bad period, and there's obviously a lot of vitriol towards them out there. But they've been around since the beginning, and like you said, there's a lot of like cool announcements.
They've raised a lot of money. A lot of people backing them, right?
Well, what's up with the Polygon thing, right? Yeah, it was Polygon. Are they still? What's up with that? Anyone know?
The Yes token.
I do know they're still working with Polygon on the esports stuff, right? Okay. So I think what it was is the esports guys are tight with the Polygon crew, and so they're creating that NFT marketplace, I believe, on the Polygon chain. Simultaneously, I talked to them. They've got their Y Arena and their Y launch. They've got all these things that are still being built on Algorand. The Polygon stuff seems like it's really sort of a secondary thing they did to placate the Polygon group. But I don't know. Maybe they're just saying that to me because they know I'm an algo guy, and they're just placating me. Who knows?
Man, what they need to do is like literally focus on NFTs. They could kill that market. That's what I would do if I was right. If y'all listening, work on NFTs. Drop a lot of that other stuff. The NFT community needs a platform that is not like Rand Gallery or Marketplace. And I see what they're doing with cosmic tokens, the Alki coin. Do more of that, I would say.
I think they're really focused on the lotteries, gaming NFTs and the esports NFTs. Yeah, I think they're really focused on that.
Fractal Monsters is coming. Like, I would focus on those.
Yeah.
I still feel like, and I've said this before, but, to me, even though Yieldly's had its rough bounce, I mean, name an ASA right now, I feel like in the Algorand ecosystem that hasn't had some form of choppy waters, especially during the bear market, right? My thought process, as far as people maybe who are still holding Yieldly and are using the Yieldly platform to farm and stuff like that, I feel like what it'll take to bring it back, especially if you're just looking solely at like, the price bouncing back, it's new money, right? I mean, as you got to think how big Algorand is as far as market share. As more people learn about Algorand, they're not going to have any idea of, all the woes it had this year. They're not going to be as, emotional towards it as a lot of the investors are. I saw someone said, I hate Yieldly with a passion, right? Someone who newly comes into Algorand's ecosystem, they're not going to hate Yieldly with a passion. They're just going to see it and think, oh, this platform's got some amazing yields. I can yield farm. I can do X. It seems solid, and they're going to use it, especially if they say they learn about Algorand through Citrus. And then, through that, they see that crypto nerd, oh, he's got his nerd token over there. I'm going to go use Yieldly. You have to look at it from how new people come into the market. Just like when I first found Algorand, I didn't know how awful of a token launch Algo had, right? And how, all the tokenomics things that were wrapped around it. So I think, as the next bull run comes, I do believe that with Algorand positioning itself in such a way to gain the market share and grow, I think you're going to see almost, if not all ASAs, that are at least solid projects with some bit of a good team behind them are going to rise as well.
I think you make a good point, man. I think that's a good point.
Yeah, truly, absolutely. Because I mean,
I'm just saying. I was like, yeah, I agree with him. Yeah,
seal of approval. I need that on my desk. Just stamp it.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm also a firm believer. Like, I'm so happy this Terra Luna thing happened. I need all the weak projects, all the weak coins to just disappear so we can know what we're actually dealing with, as overall market.
He means that with love for anybody affected. Just
yeah. You just want to clear out all the riffraff, huh?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Like, we all got to get better, and this is why I'm big too on spreading risk, because anything could happen.
Yeah.
And I don't see Algorand having any trouble. It's been 3 years straight of no forking, no stoppage. So I think Algorand is good, but we definitely I need projects to crash. I need them to crash. So we can know what we're doing.
It is true that, bear markets serve a important part of a market in general. It really does wipe out a lot of the funny money in the system, and it reveals the actual real useful projects that will stand the test of time. So, it's a natural part of any market, and it is unfortunate for anybody that got in at the tail end of the bull market that have just solely been basically in a bear market at this point. Hard out to those people, but, stick with it and don't over leverage yourself. That's for sure. Or don't leverage yourself at all, really, if you can avoid it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I had to pay back my leverage. Definitely, I was like, oh shit. I've been transparent. One of my accounts, I had 2 accounts, like a demo one. I definitely got liquidated in the last run. So I learned my lesson. I lost a lot of algos, and I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
So
be careful.
Yeah.
I've yet to be
really
liquidated.
easy to lose money real fast that way, right?
Oh my god.
I learned the hard way too.
Yeah, so I'm cool on that. When I do leverage, I'm doing the JT again. I'm yield farming, and I'm sending it right back. Yeah, be safe with it.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing because, I do a little bit of leverage, but it is primarily for yield farming. It's not for price action. So and when I do it, I do the math to basically the extremes. So I basically calculate if the X token goes down, 80%, will I still be good? And almost all the time my math is fine, but still the other night, when prices were going crazy, I woke up twice in the middle of the night with dreams that I got liquidated, and I had to, I ended up just waking up and paying off a bunch of stuff anyway, even though I knew the math was fine, but it was I can sleep better, that, it's fine.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I got down to 30%, and I feel pretty good. But yeah, I got a little nervous there a couple weeks ago. I was like, I don't want to be one of those. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be a casualty.
Yep, 100%.
Yep. So I'm careful.
Well, guys, this has been pretty great. Unless we have anything else to add to the conversation, it's been about an hour. I mean, we could start to wrap up now, unless we have anything else to discuss.
I mean, is there anything that anybody asked questions over here that maybe we want to?
Comments have been coming fast and furious, right?
Yes, it's very hard to keep up with
and
these
Bergman,
comments.
Thanks for watching, man.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah, if you have any questions, let us know now at the bottom of the chat, just so we don't have to scroll to the top and see them. But
shout out to everybody that is tapping in the comments. We definitely appreciate y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure you subscribe to all our channels. We've got The Recoup, we've got Crypto Nerd, we've got Passive Income Network, Crypto for Change, and of course, JT Invest in You. Just, give us all a like and subscribe. It helps us all grow. It helps us get the Algorand word out to people that aren't just in our little Algorand bubble. So, go do that. It would definitely, a small gesture goes a long way.
Yep.
For sure. And then, you could follow us on Twitter too. I think that might be all right.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea.
We'll allow that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. What do you
think next partnership is?
Just a little bit of speculation. Interesting. It's kind of hard to speculate when we've already had some of the biggest ones like announced. You've got FIFA, of course. You've got LimeWire and Napster and Universal Music Group. I guess there is some speculation still that Starbucks may choose Algorand, but it is really hard to speculate. We have some big names already, so I'm hoping all of them.
These comments are hella funny.
Yeah, they are.
We've got some comedians in there.
I was like, yeah.
I think we need to do this on a regular basis, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Hey, let us know in the comments if you think we should do this on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I will say the only speculation I have was what Stacy talked about during that Salt interview. She did mention, and I mentioned it in the last episode of The Next Block. I don't know if Cooper and Monty, if you guys heard it, but she said in there that they're working with two of the biggest organizations that handle disaster relief settlements in Africa, and then also working with mobile inclusion in African business. So I don't know what organizations those are, but even if it's not something like FIFA, it still could be a something partnership that could help get Algorand into a better market.
Yeah, absolutely.
CJ's dropping the alpha. I think the next partnership is going to be GameStop. You see that?
Yeah, GameStop.
I mean, hey, they do want to create an NFT marketplace.
And then also, weren't we supposed to hear something from Koi Banks that involves Algo and Bitcoin?
Monday.
Yep, Monday they have a Twitter space.
Nice.
Okay. It was supposed to be Thursday.
It was. They got pushed back.
A company or a country with, what did they say, 2 syllables or something? I don't know. No, 2 colors in the flag. That's what it was. That was their hint.
Well, you know what I like about Stacy though? If I rewatched the SALT conference too, but her background is just next level. Like she's been in every single part of government or financial world and all that one would need to take Algorand to the next level. She got all the connections. She's dedicated. She got JT now.
JT in her corner.
I'm Googling 2 color flag Latin America.
While he's Googling that, everyone in the chat right now, I want everybody to go smash the like button. Guys, y'all don't know how much this helps, but it's huge in getting the algorithm out there. So smash the like button if you love this content, if you guys want to see us do more things like this.
Most definitely.
There's so many really cool projects coming out, even in a bear market, guys. I just talked to a winery, like a well-known winery, who wants to put out NFTs. So you could buy like 2022 Cabernet, and the longer you hold it, the more value you get, right?
Like so it ages, right?
Because it ages, and it's backed by a real world project, like the real world assets. I think there's just so many cool things like that coming that we've just hit the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's about to be good. Like Algorand undeniably has the tech for transactions. It has all the stuff that we need. It's like a clear, it's gonna be good.
Do we think we'll get a bigger partnership than FIFA in 2022, or is FIFA going to be the headliner for this year?
It's gonna be U.S. government. I called it first.
Is that a good thing?
I mean, it's a thing for sure. Yeah. I mean, I would have guessed with the Koi Banks thing, Argentina, but didn't they just come? I guess that flag is kind of 2 colors. There's a little sun there in the middle.
Looks like blue, white.
But didn't they just come out and say that they came out against?
Well, Eldar says it's not in Latin America.
Yeah, it's not in Latin America. I think some people were saying Nigeria. I don't know how many colors Nigeria has. I mean, who knows?
They got 2 actually. They got green.
We're gonna spend another 20 minutes on
trying to track this down. True speculation.
Wait, wasn't there Big Bang Theory with Sheldon Cooper? The flag segment on that show. I don't know. I love that show, but it's what it made me think of.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
They said it was specifically not okay. Oh, cool. Hey, Jeannie, that's cool that you found Algorand through my channel. That's nice. Nice to hear, for sure.
No tattoos, Vince.
Do any of us have tattoos?
Yeah, I got
actually
some.
Don't.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, I got mine.
I did tell my wife, though. I told my wife that if whichever crypto I hold makes us millionaires first, I'll get it tattooed somewhere on me. So.
All right.
She was like, "It just better not be Yieldly." Get a big ass flamingo on my back.
I think a flamingo would look good.
Yeah, flamingo would be cool.
Yeah.
A big ass flamingo is my only tattoo. That'd be a story. That's what that would be.
I think you just get the Y with the arrow.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'll go face tats. That's what we should get.
That's what
Right now, it needs to be a tier just with the downward pressure we're seeing.
I mean, with my Coops NFTs, I got some algo face tattoos that I think it looks pretty good.
It does.
I'm not sure.
It does.
I'm not
those
sure.
actually came
though,
out
that...
really well, Coop.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
There was a good month where
Had a
your
mooch.
profile picture changed almost every day. Sometimes I feel like
Yeah.
twice a day. I was like, what's happening over there?
I thought you were
Yeah.
tweeting about every 5 minutes with how many people were using your NFTs.
Oh, that's true. That got a little confusing. I was like, is this No, it's not Cooper. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, this has been absolutely fantastic. We're definitely going to have to
Yeah.
do it again. It looks like the
Yeah.
people in the chat absolutely agree that we should do this again. So, appreciate everyone for joining us, certainly in the chats and on the show. And we'll do this again sometime.
I'll up my
Absolutely.
next
Most definitely.
next month.
It was a pleasure.
Oh, this
y'all.
is hilarious! But look how clear Monty is, and
Yeah.
how,
It's at the
how
end.
great he sounds.
Now.
You look great. Nice to see you, Monty.
It was right when we started talking about Zest, so maybe that was
That's what it was. The
needed.
Zest bandwidth kicked in.
Yeah, they knew he was about to come
Before
in.
that, my internet was in a bear market.
Oh, man.
Really
Yep,
not gonna make
exactly.
it,
Well, everyone, until the next time, thanks for tuning in. Give us a
Peace,
like, give us
y'all.
a subscribe, and catch you later.